Hey everyone, what's up? Today we are going to learn about the string literals in Python. So firstly, let's see what we will learn in this video. First, string literals. Assign a string to a variable. Strings are array, slicing, string slicing, an example of string slicing. Now let's start our video and let's learn about the string literals. String literals in Python are surrounded by single quotation marks, or you can use double quotation mark to show the string. So we can say that hello world in single quotation is the same as the hello world in double quotation. In Python, there is no data type such as character. If you store character, it will consider it as a string only, which is having a length. Now let's see the example of string. Here I give hello world in a single quotation to a str name of variable and printed the type of the string, and this string str variable value will give hello world as an output of the value of str variable, and its type is class string. Now I stored the same string hello world in a double quotation and I got the same output as I got in a single quotation. So we can say that if we store in a single quotation, or we store the string in a double quotation, is having the same type, which is string data type in Python. You can't say that in single quotation if you store the string it will give the character data type, okay, because in Python we don't have any character data type. If we store character A in a single quotation, Python consider it a string and it will give a string data type to that variable which is having only one character. And if we store it in a double quotation, then also we will get the same output. In Java we will get the different output, but in Python we don't get the different output. Now let's assign a string to a variable. We already did that thing in a about practical, but let's learn that in div. Now we can give the string as an argument to print function directly, or we can store a string to a variable, then give that variable as an argument of a print function. So we will get our string as a value of that variable. We can do any type from the given two. You can give directly to the print function the string, or you can give that string to a variable and then print that variable. You will get the same output. Now there can be string of single line, or it can be of multiple line string. Now you can't just store that string. If you want, firstly let's do one thing. You want to store a string which is having only one line, and you want to store a paragraph which is having multi-line. Now to assign single line string to our variable, we can use either single quotation mark or double quotation mark and give that string to a variable using equal to operator. This used for a single line string. Now let's think about if we want to learn about if we want to write a paragraph. Now if you want to assign multi-line string to a variable, then we need to use 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes to a string and give that string to a variable using equal to operator. So we can store a paragraph like that in the Python by using 3 single quotes or a 3 double quotes. Now let's see the example. Here in first I used a string directly given to a print function as an argument, and when we print the string we will get hello world. Now this equal to print, and in that I used character equal to just to divide the output so that you can easily know which is having the which output. Now let's do single line string assigned to a variable and then printing the value of the string. We can do that. In first we directly give print function as an argument a string. Now in second code we give a string to a variable str and then print the string str variable. So we will get the same output. So you can say that you can do either way. Now let's do the multi-line string. For multi-line string, we stored multi-line string hello, and after that /n character we used, means we went to another line and then world we return, and we used triple single quotations for that multi-line string. You need to notice that first, for multi-line string you need to use 3 single quotes and then store that value in that string into the variable. Now if I print the string, I will get the same output as I wrote. I will get /n character, which means new line in the output when I use that /n or enter key in the input function. Now you can use 3 double quotes for the multi-line string and print, and you will get the same output as shown in figure. Pause the video and just learn again so you will get a good idea. Now strings are one type of arrays in Python. Strings are arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters like other programming languages. Python doesn't have a character data type, so character is called string in Python, which is having length 1. Like other programming languages, to access elements of string in Python, we can use square brackets and position of that element in brackets. Remember, in arrays, the first position starts with 0. For string elements in Python, same is applied. So if you want the element which is on the 0th position, you can say that it's a first element, or vice versa. You can say that if you want to access the first element of the string, you can use 0th position. So if we want to access the first element of the string, it will have the 0th position, and the position of the last element of the string will be length of the string minus 1, because our string is started from the 0. Now let's start the example of a string array. Here, to see the example correctly, we used hello world as a string. We stored that in a double quotation. You can use single quotation. It won't affect your string. Both will give the string data type of variable str. Now, if you want to access the first element of our string, we need to use 0, because first element of the string is stored on the 0th position of string variable, because as we see in arrays start from the 0th position. In Python, string also start from the 0th position like other languages. Now if you print this string of 0, you will get the output capital H. Now if you can store that value str of 0 in other variable and then print that variable, you will get the same output as capital H. Now if you want to know the length of your string, then you can use len method. Now len will give the length of your given variable. You simply give the variable name to the length of argument as an argument, and if you print that, you will get the length. Here I give len and variable str as an argument to the len function, and stored that value in the length variable and printed the length. I will get 11 characters because it counts white space also. So I get 11 characters of this string here. And now if you want to print the last character, you can use length variable -1, because our string start from 0. So last variable will be stored on the length -1 position. So you will get the output D as of a last code line. Now slicing. Now let's learn about the slicing first. Then we will learn about the string slicing. As the name suggests, slicing means a piece or a part of something. You can say that if we have a cake and we slice it, then it is called slicing. Here in Python, we can divide string in different parts or ranges, and we can say that we will divide string in different ranges, and that is called slicing of string in Python. Now let's see this slicing syntax. It can be as follows. First we need a variable name. Then in square bracket we will give three arguments. First one will be starting index, second one ending index, and the gap between the positions. Now these all three arguments will be separated by the colon symbol. Starting index is the position of element from which you want to start the slicing. Ending index is the position of the last element you want to add in that range. But be careful when you write ending index, because ending index is exclusive and starting index is inclusive. So index of the starting will be added to the range and ending index will be exclusive and it won't be added to your range. So always if you want to add that index or position in the string, then you need to add +1 as a index of the ending index. Now gap can be used to show either you want consecutive position or position after jumping 2 or 3 elements. We will learn about that in further slides. Now here I written the variable name, starting index, ending index, and gap, which is the syntax of our slicing. Here you need to see that to separate our values inside of square bracket we are using colon operator. By default string starting index will be 0. So if you don't give any starting index, then it will be considered as 0th position. It is of inclusive type, as I told before. By default ending index will be length -1. So if you don't give any ending index, then it will be considered as last position. It is of exclusive type. Here we need to remember that if we give ending index more than the length of string, then Python won't give any error and it will display the whole string and then it will stop. We won't get any error for that. By default gap will be of 1. If you want to get odd or even position elements, then you can make it 2. Now let's see the example of this slicing in string. Now firstly, for simplicity, we used 0 to 9 as a string of our example. Now in second line code, we are storing the length of our string using the len length function and printing it. So we will get the 10 as an output. Now if we want the string from second element to fifth element, here fifth element we are getting as an exclusive nature. So we will get only 2 to 3 elements. So if we want this position of that elements, we need to use -1 because we are having string starting from the 0. Now if you want to write the whole string, you can just simply print the string using print function, and if you want to use slicing, then just give a blank at the position of ending starting index and ending index. You will get the whole string. If you want the last element of as a fifth element, then don't give the starting element and it will get the 0th position, as by default it has and give the ending index as the 5, and gap between the two positions will be 1. So you will get 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 as an answer of your fifth line. Now we'll give whole string, because if we write the ending index greater than the length, you won't get any error and you will get the string. This is done by the Python itself. Now if we want odd number position, then simply write starting from the 1 and the gap will be 2. So it will give the odd position of odd number string. And if you want even number position, then starting position will be 0. So you need to know about that first, and then just give a gap as a 2 number. Now if you want to reverse the string, you can use negative indexing and gap as in -1. It will directly do its work and it will reverse the string. Now if you want a string starting from 3rd to 7th position, remember ending index is always exclusive and starting index is inclusive. So if you write string from 3 to 7, then you will get 3, 4, 5 and 6 as an answer, and here 7 you won't get because it's having exclusive nature. For that confirmation, we are using string from 3rd to 7th position again. Then if we want a 3rd position also exclusive, then we are incrementing it by the 4. So you will get the output as 4, 5 and 6, and 3rd will be exclusive. If you like the video, then like, share and comment and subscribe.